Account closing fee? Okay, leave my account open, forever. A long time ago I worked at a company that gave me a retirement account through Fidelity. I eventually changed jobs to a different company that provided a retirement account through another provider. So I call up Fidelity to roll my old account funds into my new one. Fidelity can do that for me. But there is a $50 account closing fee. Why do they have an account closing fee? Because fuck me. That's why. I tried to be clever and say leave $1 in the account. But they require a $50 minimum in case you do want to close at a later date. Cue malicious compliance. Okay. Roll over all my funds except for $50. Keep the account open. Send me quarterly updates on my $50. Invest it. Make it grow. I now have a tradition. Once a year I call Fidelity to transfer over all but $50 of my account balance. Usually just a check for a few dollars. By this point, I've cost them way more than $50 of service, postage, and checks they mail to me. But I still have a few decades to retirement. Let's see how much I can cost them before they give me my $50. I'll go to my grave with that account still open if it means Fidelity never gets the account closing fee. Why? Because fuck them. You have a hobby until you retire. I dare you to cross-post this to our Fidelity Investments. I do this with an old account myself. They mail me something at least 20 to 30 times per year. Sometimes heavy stuff, so I know I'm costing them more than is in the account to keep it going. I used to change allocations frequently, which always triggered several pieces of mail, but my life partner always bitched about me getting so much mail from them. Stockpile does this for me. I closed all my accounts and had them send me a check. But in the interim I guess my accounts earned 29 cents. We're going on 6 years of them sending me updates on that 29 cents not doing anything. The postage alone makes me giggle every time. I have a Fidelity account. They had a close account fee and no minimum balance. But they did have an automated system that kicked in if your account ever got below a threshold. They've been sending me checks for 13 cents 28 cents for years in an attempt to close out my account. I laugh with glee each time I tear up one of those checks. Same. I used to have a PNC account when I lived in the States. When I moved to Canada I told my bank I'd no longer need the account, but there was going to be a $50 fee to permanently close it. I thought, well, what's stopping me from withdrawing all but a few pennies? And the answer? Absolutely nothing. I've had 13 cents in that account for almost 5 years now. They send me an email summary every single month with zero activity on it. I just delete it and move on. LMAO. My mother has had an account with 3 cents in it for over 20 years now because of a cancellation fee. For years we got a yearly overview letter for the account to proclaim its mighty balance. Then they went paperless. And without having any up-to-date email on file, I assume that account is still sitting there with it riches. Deleting original comment is really not a good thing to do, even to unscrupulous companies like this. Fuck Fidelity or any financial institution that charges a fee to leave them. That should be made illegal on principle. Ferengi Rule of Acquisition number 242, more is good. All is better. By this point, I've cost them way more than $50 of service, postage, and checks they mail to me. Don't forget the hourly wages for the people answering the phone. I moved cross-country for a few years and set up with a local credit union there. When I moved back to my home area, I had to keep the account open until I could open an account here in the area, so I had someplace for my job to continue to deposit my paychecks. After a few weeks here I was able to get settled in, get a permanent address in the area, and open a new account here. I transferred all the funds to my new account, except the $25 minimum account balance at the old credit union. Then called the old credit union to close the account and get my $25. They told me that's not something they could do over the phone or via email and that I'd have to come into a branch to close an account. I explained to them that I lived 2,800 miles away and coming into a branch was not an option. But they didn't care. That was 6 years ago. As far as I can tell, that account is still open with $25 in it. This happened to me with Hargreaves Lansdowne. They wanted something like £25 to close the account. The account had £20 in it, so I couldn't actually do this. So I just left it open forever as it needed a minimum of £1. Last year they changed their policy so you didn't need to pay £25. Took my damn £20 back straight away. This is the petty shit that I love. I would probably do the same. I do this with a HSA. Employer forced us into a new bank, one riddled with fees. So every paycheck I put in a ticket for them to send the money to my old HSA, leaving only the minimum balance of $25.01. You should have them assign a wealth management person to go through your investment options on that $50. I loved reading every letter of this. Yes, fuck them entirely. I have a similarly loopholey trick with my bank account. They have zero bank fees and charges as long as my account is a salary account and gets a steady monthly income. I opened it back when I was working my first job for minimum wage, when I quit my job to go back to get my degree 2 years ago. I took roughly 12 months worth of salary from my savings, a pretty small amount, and put it through cyclic fixed deposits that would end on the first of each month. So for the past 2 years, I have been enjoying a bank account with zero maintenance fees cause my bank still sees a steady flow of the same amount deposited to my account on the first of every month. I took my account to zero. I still get asked to update KYC docs, tax withholding requests, phone calls when I don't respond. I just say, okay, just close it, and they say I don't have enough funds to close it. Oh, okay, bye. Years now. I had a part-time job 1 day a week in college for an insurance company. The guy who hired me left the company before my first day. So they wanted to honor the commitment but really didn't know what to do with me. So they gave me a printout of 4,000 nudity accounts where the account holder had drawn it down to less than $100. My job was to copy addresses and send out letters to them to please consider closing their account. We didn't say so, but the obvious intent was to get rid of near empty accounts which were costing the company overhead to maintain. My whole point in working there during the school year was to get a foot in the door for their summer internships. When I went to apply, they said, "Oh, we've already filled them." Ended up working midnight shift for Social Security's computer room instead.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Eracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.